none other than the boss lady herself, Huddah Monroe, Miss CEO, Miss Beautypreneur, Miss Gorgeous, Miss. She's basically the embodiment of what we all, well, she's a very beautiful lady. I was about to say words and put words in your mouth that is not what the words that you wanted to say. Anyway, she's been very bold about her one opinion with regard to children. And I think she's been very bold about this many times over. But this time, we're taking a different tangent simply because some people chimed in that they had no business chiming in. Really, truly had no business chiming in. So basically, she was talking about her and children and her version or her verdict when it comes to children. And she said, "My sister, have money. Nothing is impossible. I think the next thing God needs to send down for good deeds is immorality or ways to live like 1,000 years." She continued to say, "Have children and you can take care of them fully to see them grow, not having children while still selling punani and running the streets to feed them. Your children need 100% until they can defend themselves and protect themselves." And I think this is a very interesting way of looking at it. She said, nurture and protect your cub like a lioness. And she had many other, you know, George of the Jungle stroke Lion King sentiments echoing around the same thing. And she said something very important. When you are not around, a lot of people are preying on your children. It is a wicked world. And with that part, I completely agree. Like, if you're not the person taking care of your children, we've seen the videos of house managers and what they do to children sometimes. Not all the videos that we have seen have been very problematic. And of course, in the world of just, I don't know why this, it's like they've been sprinkled around the earth. Pedophiles have been sprinkled around the earth and it's becoming very problematic. So it's very important for you to be taking care of your children, knowing at least where they are, what they're doing, and making sure that the people that you're leaving and entrusting your children to are the right people and are in the right frame of mind. So I completely agree with this, and I do completely agree with this, and I think we've said this on the show many times. Please have children when you can, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, and even more so, holistically take care of your children. Because honestly, Sauti lied to us that time when they said mtoto anakuja na sahani yake. That was a lie. And even if they come with a plate, it's an empty plate which you then need to fill. So I am of the strong opinion that anyone who is planning on having children, in the same way planning on getting into a relationship and you want a wedding, please have financial money stability to be able to take care of yourself, so that we don't end up having the kinds of families that children have nowadays, where it's just, it's very unstable. They're now being forced to grow up because they're being told, oh, I can't afford this today, you know, you need to understand. Let's not put children in such situations, if you can, if it is possible. Either way, they are a blessing. There's nothing we can do about blessings except receive them with open arms. However, in the same beat, we had Mr. Madenge, who decided to also chime in on the conversation with regard to Huddah Monroe. And he, Tumbili and Alex Madenge had very critical words to say. Alex Madenge was the first to say that I would want to know how much Huddah has saved in readiness for having children. Imagine, mzazi akikwambia ali have kusave for many years ndio uzaliwe. Wewe ukipata mtu mnaezana na unaona mnaweza toa offspring moja, noma, usi waste time, whether you're 23 or 45, maybe that's the only chance you've got. Pesa hutafutwa tu na inapatikana. And then of course he continued on to say the same things. Otherwise utazeeka ukitafuta pesa ati ndio watoto wasiteseke. Only to get money in your late 40s ndio unatafuta wasichana wadogo, unaambia mlembo nizalie nitakuwekea salon na nitakulipia nyumba hapo bypass, which is kind of interesting. And Tumbili also said when you wait to have children, when you're stable, you might die without kids. Have them when you can. And I think childbirth and parenting is one of those very polarizing issues. Everyone has an opinion, even when they're not required to have one. Ultimately, it boils down to the woman. Huddah Monroe has said she's not having children until she's saved enough to take care of them until they're stable and they can move out on their own. That is her opinion. That is her stance. Let her have her stance. If you, on the other hand, want to have children at any point, it's your opinion and your stance. You follow through with that. To each their own. Let's not try and make it one blanket where everyone needs to abide by. It's not. Every uterus, every womb, every person to their own devices. But as I said, my opinion is I am completely in agreement with Huddah Monroe. But that is just my opinion. What is yours? 0770-729-366.
I feel like the problem with Huddah is usually the delivery, the tone that she uses to address issues. Yes, it was a very valid point. Yes, she had an opinion and she shared it. But I don't know, the tone she uses to just deliver her message and just the high horse she sits on to try and castigate society. Now listen, she's not the most perfect person in the world. Sure. We know her history. We've seen her videos of her twerking for like 20-year-olds in Dubai or whatever, or wherever that was. So like for her to now sit on this high horse and act like morality police and try to subliminally call out Vera Sidika, because, you know, she be doing her business. She out here, she's getting her money, and she has kids and all of that. It's the tone that usually irks me and irks everyone else. And now it feels like it has to be a confrontation when it really does not. She could have delivered her message without trying to call out people. That's the thing. It's that simple, you know, Huddah.